which areas of the country are you in?
Yeah. So we're in 21 states currently this year. We are projected to go international. So, we thank you. I'm so excited and so very proud of the team. And
Congratulations, it's amazing.
thank you. And so, um, we are all over. If we do not have a tutor in your area, we would be able to get started immediately online. And a lot of the times we do that until we have an in-person tutor whose availability has opened up. And,
Yeah.
a lot of the time what happens is the student has already started with the online tutor and they're like, I love my tutor. I don't want to stop.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Where do
Yes.
you find your tutors?
Yeah, so we find them in a lot of different ways. A lot of our tutors are current teachers or past teachers. Some of them have their PhDs in education, masters. We have a lot of college students. And so,
Mhm.
really, we find people, some of the most important things are they need to be passionate, about it because we can't have a tutor get started and then leave their student, right? So, we're looking for
Right.
someone going to understand the student, who's going to care about the student first and foremost. Obviously, they need to know the material, and then we
Yeah.
help train them more on our learn to learn curriculum and then also being trauma informed, just because so
Yeah.
often we're working with students who, and even if they haven't been in the foster youth or another situation, you never know what a student has been through. And so having tutors who have been through that training, I think, is very, very important for them to be empathetic and to be able to relate really well to the students.
Yeah. So, what about how many tutors do you guys have?
This is a funny story. um, like a couple months ago, I was talking with a potential business partner, and they asked this question, how many tutors do you have? And I was like 400. And so later on that day, I had a meeting with my team and I was like, oh, hey, by the way, guys, like how many tutors do we have? Like, I don't know. And they're like, we have like 900 tutors, Lonnie. And I was like, oh, and that's such a testament to the team because they are holding it together so well. They have things going so well that I don't know things like that because my job is really, let's start seeing how can we get this out to more students. How can we
Yeah.
get the word out and how can we provide even better services to more students. And so yeah, we do have about 900 tutors across the country.
My gosh, across the country. So then when you go international, so that kind of leads me to another question. Which languages do you cover? Obviously English. I'm guessing some Spanish, but do you have other bilingual,
Yes.
tutors that can help with English as a second language? People
Yes.
just coming into the country?
Yes, so we do all of the typical languages that are asked, but remember we're very, very individualized. And so whatever the student needs, we've had a foster youth before who was blind who needed online tutoring. And that's
Yes.
hard to find, especially because she needed to work on sign language. And it's like, well, no, sorry, not sign language. She was working on, sorry, I like got two
Braille.
stuck
Yeah.
in my head, but the one that I was thinking about, the blind one, she, like we're going to make it work for our students. So
Hmm.
whatever we're finding the student needs, we're going to work as hard as we can to be able to help them with that need. Um, the typical languages that we do work with will be definitely English, Spanish, French, German. We've had a lot of different languages. Yeah, American Sign
So
Language is
cool.
one that we've done a lot too.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say it sounded like you may have had a deaf student or two, and you said
Mhm.
sign language, and it sounded like, yeah, no, oh, amazing, so cool. All right, well, so in the spirit of the series, have you in the 9 years like that? You look really young, so it's it sounds like you probably started this really young. Did you make any mistakes? Was there anything that, if you had a do-over, you would do it over? And,
I
knowing what you
made
know now.
Yes, I made like all the mistakes.
Um,
Um, I I love that you asked this question because it's going to be so helpful for new entrepreneurs. So number one thing, like the first thing that I thought of when you asked me that question was my prices were too low because I didn't trust
Ooh,
myself. I think a lot of people think that when they're starting something out, that, oh, they're just starting. So like, I'm going to cut
yeah.
sell myself short, right? And so like maybe that makes sense at the very, very beginning. If you really don't have any idea at all what you're doing, that's fine. But definitely don't let it go too long.
You already
Um,
had results, amazing
right.
results.
The first
So,
student, you know. And
mhm,
so yeah, definitely don't sell yourself short.
that's a
And figure
good
out what
one.
the prices are and what is it worth to you and what is it to other people. Another thing that I would say that like I kick myself in the butt all the time is I didn't have help from advisors. Like business is not new, even if you're coming up with a totally new idea, the business
Yeah,
processes and
right.
models and framework are not new. And you can find someone who has the finance expertise. You can hire a lawyer or an accountant. You don't need to go and read those 100-page contracts yourself. And so I would
No.
really, really suggest people to go out and find those people because it will
Yeah.
make the process so much easier. And
Oh, yeah.
um, I don't like definitely different. You can Google different places. One I would suggest would probably be Score. You can obviously pick, whichever one you think would be good. The reason I mentioned Score, I did have some good results with them.
Yeah.
Results vary obviously, but it is like past CEOs or past
Oh, I've
executives
heard of
who,
this.
yes, and they do it for
Yes.
free. And so for a new entrepreneur, some resources, get whatever resources you can, but
Yes.
the free ones definitely help. The third thing that I would say is I didn't strategize enough. It is so easy to get overwhelmed when you're new, you don't know where you're going, what you're doing. There are a million things to do. So if you literally sit down, strategize, what is the most important thing? There's a book called I think it's called Eat the Frog. So what
Yeah.
that yeah, yeah. So so what that book talks about is what is the thing that's going to move your business forward the most. Now do that thing. Don't do the little things that aren't going to do anything just because, oh, I marked off 10 things off my to-do list. So really spend the time to think, where is my time best used? And then do that thing. Don't get stuck in the organizing your to-do list because now you feel better.